What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've uploaded on this channel, but the last video, I am greatly appreciative of those who watched it. If you haven't watched it, it'll probably be, well, you can check the channel after this video is over, but, if you haven't seen it, I made a video about saying, or I kind of asked the question of, like, why are players getting worse? And it's kind of a very subjective thing. It depends on, like, how you want to look at it. But I personally think that people are getting worse, not really based off of most people will probably say like, "Oh, the game itself is just in a bad state," which makes players feel more comfortable doing bad things, or they're doing things that they don't really want to do because of how bad the mechanics are, which also could play a factor. But I will say that there are just some people that, in clear hindsight, also by the way, don't look at how many builds I have. I'm not proud of it. I started working on this point guard that eventually I'll probably make a video on for this channel. And I really think it's gonna be a really nice build. I'm really excited about that build. But I think overall, the thing that plagues this game is that a lot of people, which I've started to notice, and in other games as well, people are playing games that they don't fully understand. And by that I mean this isn't a game similar to like a Call of Duty, like a Warzone or a Apex, where those games don't have a really huge learning curve outside of, picking certain guns. And then maybe for Apex, probably like learning a specific character, but it's not like a really like deep underlying level of understanding you need to have. Now, it sounds a little bit crazy, but basketball, whether you're playing the game or whether you're playing it in real life, it still holds the same fundamental value, which some people get it and some people don't. Even in the meta, there's still an underlying element of knowing when to pass, knowing when not to pass, switching. All these things that are still basketball related are things that even the meta builds have to take into consideration, which is why everybody loves the do-it-all archetype, because you literally can pass, you can shoot, you can defend, rebound if you want, or what have you, depending on what height you make it. You can do everything. So in this, I'm going to kind of go into some gameplay that I got playing on my center, because the stuff that I have from my guard, it really wasn't that necessary. All right, so getting into it, as you can see, the Mega VC bonus. I genuinely didn't think that I was gonna get this 1 million VC. I'm just playing it because I feel like it, and if I get it, I get it. I got like 19 opportunities to get it. Comment down below how many you guys have, because if I get it, I get it. I don't, I don't. I at least want, if I can at least get 25,000, then it's beneficial, I guess. But as you can see, I drop in and out of gold plate so often. I was in gold plate on my point guard. I lost it because playing with randoms. I play on my center and I get gold plate playing with my friends or playing with randoms and like maybe one other person that I know. And then I'm in a lobby with supposed other gold plates, and then I end up dropping it again. Even though I can play the best on the team, I will still lose my play color. I don't understand why that's a thing. Like, I could play a game where I could have 12 points, lead my team in scoring, have 5 rebounds and a block, and because my teammate is garbage, in the least toxic way possible. If my teammate literally just comes in the game, throws up 5 bricks, misses and quits, I get more of a punishment from me just being in the game and hoping than they do by quitting. I don't understand how that works. I genuinely don't understand how that works. But yeah, gold plate at the time of this gameplay, but obviously I lost that. And then the glaring thing that I also noticed, the ranking system. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'm starter 5. Yeah, I'm starter 5. I'm I'm in a range where these are like starter level players. Like they're not bad by any means. I don't think they're like bad. But if I'm going off of the layout of what this game entails, right? I'm not getting the fair shake when it comes to how good my teammates should potentially be. Like, I think he started 2 and that's starter 3. For me to be a starter 5, I feel like my teammates should be around where I'm at. Like, at least 4. Like, I'm not gonna say they had to be 5, but at least 4. Like I feel like starter 3 and starter 2 is or anybody can get starter 2 or start anybody can hit these thresholds. 4 and up is when you start having to be like, oh, like he plays a little bit. Yeah, people are going against Silver Plate. Obviously, two of them know each other, and then this random guy that might know him too, but he's a starter 5. So even if they don't know him, they still have the better matchmaking as far as like positional. If we're going off positional value, me being starter 5 and playing center isn't as valuable as him being a guard starter 5 with these two people that they may or may not know each other, but it works out a lot better in their case. So this is like he's a point guard. Don't get me wrong, but this is where I have the issue here. Why, as a point guard, are you a shot erasing anything? I get wanting to block shots, understandable, right? But when you make a point guard, not even to say make a build like the guy across from him because he's 6'2", and clearly this is a meta type of build at the moment. Like he's probably gonna get a 99 3-pointer at some point before the season is over. 93 ball handle, 91 speed ball, 91 in the key stats that would matter, and he has an 89 driving dunk, so he can get on that rim if he needs to. But comparable to what he's having to go against, which is, even though it says shot erasing, the only thing he probably has is block, meaning that it's 3-point, ball handle, driving dunk, speed, mid range, and speed with ball. Is this build bad? No. Is this build a point guard? Not at all. I don't even know what his pass accuracy is, to be honest. I genuinely don't even know. But these are the builds that don't fit the criteria of the point guard label. Even the other guy across from him, like he's purely offense. Like I don't see pass accuracy anywhere. He probably has pass accuracy because I mean I think 6'2" gets a lot of a lot of room to attribute wise. Which is probably why he has like 491. Wait, is that 4, 3, 5 actually? Potentially 5. Well, potentially 6. 90 overall stats. It's just really like just not ideal to have a point guard with shot erasing in the name. So game starts. And first possession, boom, off the rip. This was like a really good possession off the rip, to be honest. Had to change my camera. Because in this case, usually you might not get like the ideal animation you would want being behind him like this. But I actually got a good animation. Like, I waited out the pump fake. I knew in my mind he was going to think it was free, and then 2K gives me the gracious animation of me blocking his way up. And I'm happy about that. So we started off good. Like the game is starting off really, really well. The problem here is this. The guard gets the ball. And it's like it's actually ironic how like people say like everything's good until the lights were on. So in this case, we get a block, right? Now, in this case, could he have pushed his pace a little bit more? Maybe. Because, like, if he runs this up, realistically, if he runs this up the court a little bit, or at least, like, to the elbow, maybe the guard drops. Let me just confirm that. Maybe the guard drops, and then you might have a corner 3 for your point guard on the break because you kind of, like, pushed it more deep into the teeth of the defense. But, I do it back. But in this case, he kind of gets it and starts doing nutmegs. He also could have shot this too, but he kept dribbling because at this point also, they're back here. He definitely could have shot this too. Already, in a sense, very, very, very obvious what this type of guard was because he kind of just wasted almost really 2 to 3 opportunities to shoot that ball. So we're going into it more. He's dribbling. But at this point, he should have gave the ball up. Once you go through a certain period in your possession where you're just not going anywhere, you need to come off that ball. Come up off that rock. That would be the most logical thing to do. But he does not come off the ball. And then when he does come off the ball, he gives it to me. Don't know why. And there's 8 seconds left on the clock. I wanted to set a screen. Or I don't know what really my plan was at that point to kind of come up. But I'm thinking that he would just reset to the guard. That does not happen. So I get the ball. And obviously, I'm holding it. And at that point, I'm kind of just wishing that someone would move. But at this point, the guard's probably already checked out. I would be too. So at that point, I kind of get the ball back to the person that I didn't really want to. He throws up some nonsense with 3 seconds left. He gets the rebound. Gets the ball back to me. Waiting it out. I finally get the ball to the guard. And at this point, I didn't really want it to be like a grenade scenario. But at that point, it is what it is. Granted, I could have threw some shit up, but I didn't think about doing that. Coming off of a block at the start of the game, you would think the momentum would be in our favor, but it did not work out that way. Don't know what happened in the backcourt though, at all. Don't know what happened. Oh, I think he went for like a. Oh, he just ran out. He ran out the play and then went for a steal. Don't know why. Um, and then they get 3 on the point. They get 3 on the board. Point guard gets the ball coming up, and at this point, this is where he kind of might have started getting a little bit frustrated because this guy ends up quitting. The guard on my team ends up quitting. So clearly, this is a problem that plagues the majority of people that are in that in between role on the threes court. People have screenitis. And I forgot where I heard that from, but if you know, you know. People have screenitis. And it's a thing where no matter what position they're on, whether they need to be setting it or not, they're like plagued with just wanting to hold their nuts inside a screen. I don't know why. After the way he was dribbling too, I'm like, I would rather you just get out of the way. But the way he's moving, the way he moved at the beginning of the game, you already showed that you don't really value time of possession because he kind of passed up a wide open shot a few times in this game, or a few times early on. But now you come down and bring your guy into a screen rotation that he doesn't need the screen at all. Like, you can dribble. Like, if you can kind of get to your spots a little bit, or the way these guys dribble nowadays, where they just kind of like spam snatchbacks and Devin Booker and stuff like that, you could use the screen, but you don't really need it. Like, you don't really need that screen. So for him to come up off of anything. So at this point, he's in the middle, and at this point I'm trying to kind of get out of the way, maneuver it or whatever, and he kind of gets open, but he doesn't. What does he make this one? No, he doesn't make it. But he kind of got open, but it would have been a lot easier if I was able to set the screen myself with brick wall and really actually set the tone for a pick and pop, pick and roll dynamic. I wasn't able to do that, and he was unsuccessful with his shot. Now, he might have been frustrated about the fact that he got 2 reds, and it wasn't fun at all. I don't get a block there either. And you see right there, he's checked out. He's probably already checked out. He's already redded 2 shots, and in his mind, he probably thinks there's a bunch of nonsense going on or whatever. But also, that's something that I think is a problem as well. It's not ideal to just, because I do this sometimes, and it's not the best thing to kind of just check out and essentially just not go get the ball, because you are still the point guard at the end of the day. Like, there's still other roles to fill on the court besides you shooting a wide open 3 that you could obviously use to get us out of this hole, because obviously it's 5-0. There's nothing insurmountable about a 5-0 deficit. You can come back from worse, or people have come back from worse. You could be in wreck and it could be 21-2, and before halftime it's 25-21 or whatever. Like, you can close gaps in this game. It's not that hard to do. But he's up the court, and at this point I'm more or less confused as to why on earth he's not coming to go get the ball. But you see right there, turnover, because obviously the center is playing up on the play. This is where the game kind of gets a little bit iffy, because at that point it was no point for the game to be this lopsided and this like bad, because it just really wasn't necessary. Like, the big really isn't doing it as much. Like, he tried to set an off ball screen, jumped up here trying to force him into doing something different. I think they scored here, if I can recall. Because at this point, I'm trying to figure out why he didn't. Yeah, this is what it was. Because, say right here, coming off the screen, I switched, I jumped. Now, this is just to run him off the 3-point line. It wasn't a good jump by any means, but with the way this game is, I would rather it be 7-0 than 8. I'm sorry. I'd rather be 7 zip than 8 zip, So he does a step back, passes out of it. And at this point, the big could have went up, didn't, or could have tried to go up, but he didn't. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, the guard has the ball again. We can reset it. I can go back to my guy, which is, the guy with this white afro, and he goes out to the corner. For some reason, he is still down here. Why, I have no idea. I genuinely don't know why people don't understand the idea. And it is like something that I read a comment on my last video, where they say, they're not supposed to read, they can't read minds. This is the thing that I'm going to just very much go into, as far as some things are self-explanatory, or at least like visually, communication is good, but it's not always necessary. In this situation, you knew once you were down here, hold on. Like once you got to this location on the court, you knew that realistically you have no chance of stopping this. If he were to have just actually, like, just turned around, pump faked, and then tried to bang on him, he probably would have got it. But he decided to kick it out because, the spacing was already broken. But at that point, you knew initially you were at the mercy of the 6'9" player that was under the rim with all this weight on him. So initially, you would think, okay, you avoided getting scored on, so let me get out of that situation entirely because I don't think I should be down there. But for some people, they think, oh, well, I'm down here, so I'm going to stay down here, which is not ideal at all, because now I'm not fast at all, or like not that fast. Like he can move a little bit, but it's not that fast to the point to where, okay, I should have been that far up in this situation. Because granted, I could have went back down, but at this point, I'm playing an area that I think realistically, if he had just came back up a little bit, he'd be more like in a realm to play two people. But I get the rebound, bringing it up, getting the ball to the PG. So obviously, at this point, this right here is another problem. I'm running up to set him a screen. He only needs one, but the two guard, like I said, screenitis. He's up here with it, and now three people are basically making damn near a rhombus on the left side of the court. They're already out of position matchup wise because the point guard is on the two and the two is on the one for their side defensively. The matchup was already won advantage wise because the little guy is on the two, probably wouldn't be able to hold that, and then we have the speed advantage with the 6'8" small forward not being as fast as, I'm not even gonna say our point guard, but I mean the guy that's at the one, because he's basically a two, because shot erasing 3 level, I forgot what that was. But he's basically a two. So the matchup was already won. We got it broken up, and then maybe it could have got a little bit easier if, say this guy's in the corner with the gold leg sleeve, and the spacing is better to where now they have to switch off to where the big is on ball. And you see if he can move his feet or not. If not, we get a dunk out of it. There's a lot of options here if he doesn't come up and try to set a double screen. Yep, get the ball in the corner, and we get our first point of the game. Like I said, mismatches are a part of the game. And there was a game before this where there was a mismatch at my position, and I think I had like 10 or 12 points off of it. People don't take their advantages. And in this case, obviously I see that, take my advantage. Once again, this possession right here, come up a little bit. I hedge. Perfect example of what I was talking about in my last video as well. Clear indicator of positional awareness, right? He comes up off the screen. I run up a little bit to kind of subside it a little bit, and then peel off right back to the paint. That was simple yet effective, because he was already going to run probably wide out anyway, but if I don't come up a little bit, he shoots the ball a lot earlier. But yeah, run in, run out a little bit. He tries to do it again, run up a little bit, show, right back on your guy, and then boom, that's a pump steal. This was a very simple possession of just being where I wanted to be, or being where I needed to be, and then, trying to make them think a little bit. Because just running in and out, they really didn't know if I wanted to commit or if I wanted to stay. But it also just shows, the hedge aspect that I bring up a lot. And once again, we get a break, and this is after 2 defensive possessions now. 1 from me, or 2 from me actually. I get a block, he gets a wide open shot on the break. He doesn't take it. He dribbles the air out the ball. This situation right here was a little bit worse because I get a steal. I'm thinking that he's going to make the extra and throw the ball to the corner. Clearly, I was wrong because I couldn't throw that pass. Like, if you know from the last video, I think I said, like, there's a couple of builds that I have that just don't have pass accuracy. Not because I don't like passing, it's because I couldn't fit everything onto a build, and I had to sacrifice something. That would have been a situation where It might have got bumped. Dude could have ran back. He's 6'2". The ball's in the air. I didn't want to risk that, so I gave it up. So I gave it up thinking he was going to go to the corner and make the extra swing. I was wrong. So he ends up making the shot, but he made the possession a lot harder based off the fact that he just didn't throw the ball up to the guy in the corner to probably get his rhythm back, which is eventually what we kind of get to in this game. So same thing as last one. I kind of hedged a little bit on the screen. Same situation, hedged up, make him throw the ball down. Don't know why he drops, because most people will throw this ball out. Or at least if it was me, I'm throwing this ball out. He's at the 3-point line. I don't want to throw this pass, but like I said, in this case, I had to, because for some reason he just wanted to be up that far. Runs out. Little crossover. Not really the best shot. It was 6%. I get it, but it still was not a good shot. Nah, this is an unrushed possession where technically if he keeps running right, if he keeps running to the right, you have a better opportunity of capitalizing off of that escape move you just did. But instead, he stops in a position to where he kind of can recover and at least get a 6. Realistically, I don't know how he gets a 6, because his hand's kind of at chest level, balls up. He definitely just rushed his shot. But yeah, that shot gets off and he misses. We can't get the rebound and he quits. This is a problem with this game, because play-wise, you being the point guard, there are a bunch of other things, like I said earlier, there are a bunch of things you can do to affect the game that are bigger than you just scoring the ball. You can pass, you can rebound, you can you can play defense, you can get stops. There are a multitude of things that could make you affect the game in a very, very effective way. Did I make every right decision in this game? No. Like that one play earlier was really not the best. I got a free dunk right there. But it was not the best decision. But that was also based on the fact that I thought that he would have, went back to his guy initially. I didn't think he was going to just sit paint and then try to get a rebound when you're literally playing the shooting guard position. Don't know why he did that, because he didn't get the rebound anyway. But all it is to kind of say, the game is only as hard as you make it out to be, and that is where the gap lies. Because I'm not even going to say, people that play the game all day fully understand. Like, there's certain times where people will not take twos when they have it. People will not slip when they have it. And it's almost like they're just basically in the three or nothing. All of that to say, positional awareness is one of the more important things on this game. And just knowing to take what you can, knowing what to take and what not to take, and to just not quit when it's not going your way. There are certain games where I'm just completely out of it. And I will eventually realize, hey, there's other things you can do, like passing, for example. Like the guy I had to guard. He got blocked earlier, got a dunk. He affected the game on the glass because there's a lot of bad shots being taken. And with the assist, he led his team in assists. Can't get mad at that at all. But then as far as for me, 4 points, 2 rebounds. Couldn't really get to most of the misses. I got a steal and a block, which both of those possessions were key possessions that we couldn't capitalize off of. Missing shots is normal, but the shots that they were missing were very much like they were a choice. These aren't shots where you could just be like, oh, I'm just getting screwed over, or, you got kind of forced into taking it. These are just shots that people really shouldn't have took at all. That's essentially. But that's it for this video. Comment down below what you guys think about just the overall player awareness of the community. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday, or Monday, whichever time you see this, or whatever day you see it. Hope you have a good rest of whatever day this comes across your feed. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed the content and want to see more like this. And I will see you guys on the next one. I'm out.